Hey, it's Nay. And welcome back to Nay's Little Garden and Home. So today I have some up potting. We're about like 3 days from 8 weeks from until our last frost. The next week and some change is gonna be in about the mid 50s to lower 70s. So I think I'm gonna actually be planting out those broccoli starts that I have in my polytunnel. They are cool weather crops. They can handle cooler temperatures, maybe a little bit of frost. So I'm gonna plant most of them in my polytunnel. And then what I'm gonna also, so that I can have back some of my 3-inch pots because it is up potting season. So we're gonna up pot some tomatoes. Something I can say, and it's one thing to hear people talk about this. Grab you a drink and a snack. I'm gonna try to make this quick, but you know I love to chat. I know it's easy to watch people and hear them say like, oh, tomato plants grow faster than pepper plants, but it's a whole separate thing to see it happen in real time. What does that mean? That means I literally have tomato plants here. I'm gonna need to up pot. No, I'm not concerned about having tomato plants be a little too big before they go outside because I'm about to. If I don't do that today, I'm gonna do it sometime this week because it's basically 8 weeks before my last frost. My biggest tomatoes starting, and then a couple more pepper plant starts. You do not need to start as many plants as I need to. Whatever the plants you need to start, you can start that exact amount you need, for sure. I always believe in starting extras. I do have people who like to have my extras, as well as I have more space than I did last year, and I have space to grow in my friend's property as well. And if I really needed to, I could right now go look up a plot and rent a plot for the season. You get what I'm saying? So these are all things I would rather have too many than too little. But if you only are working with a limited amount of seeds, try to work with as close to the correct amount you need as possible. I don't have that issue right now. So let's start. The first thing I want to say is I did go ahead and order from M.I. Gardner the Bootstrap Farmer 2 packs of their 2 packs of 9, so it's 9 in 1 pack of the 3-inch pots, I believe, 3.3 inch or something like that. I went to go order it from the Bootstrap Farmer website. The Bootstrap Farmer shipping is almost $20 for the same exact stuff that I could get. I couldn't get the colored pots, so at some point I might have to go get it from the Bootstrap Farmer because I do just want the colored pots. I know that's like why, but I just want the pink ones or the terracotta, whatever. So the only ones that are available on the M.I. Garden is the black ones. I ordered 2 of the 9 pack. So I'm going to have 18 more come. But like I said, the broccoli took up, well, more than I actually anticipated. But there's like 10 broccoli/cauliflower plants downstairs. So that will be almost, if not 10 more pots I'll have to up pot. But the 18 should be shipping within the next couple days and get to me within the next week, a week and a half. So let's start the up potting process. So I have here, I went back to the Jiffy's organic starting mix because it is the most finest material ever. Now there is little bits of stuff in here because I also went ahead and got the biochar. I've seen a few videos on this, not as many as I would like, but it's okay. There's nothing wrong with testing this out. It's just, I just put a little bit of the biochar. Let me show you. This is Black Bear Biochar. It's a sustainable alternative to perlite that promotes aeration. So I just added a little bit of it to the bottom and stuff. And because I'm a little limited on the pots, these, pots, I went ahead and picked up, it was like $4. It's a 25 pack of, these, which I've grown in the red solo cups before. I just got the clear ones because I want to see the roots. So let's up pot. So this is the Castelluto Genovese. I started on the 13th of February. We're in March now. I think I could definitely up pot this. After I up pot all of these, I'm just going to go ahead and put my liquid fertilizer in my water and water this so that it gets quite soaked, and then I'll let it chill for a couple of days so it really settles down. But you can see, and this is things like this, what I'm about to show you is the reason why I went and got the clear ones instead. You can see the roots, guys, and they look really nice, and I like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start up potting it. This is the Castelluto Genovese. I'm up potting everything. I know somebody said like, oh girl, you don't have to up pot everything, you could let some things go. I agree 100%. The reason why I'm not doing that right now is because I have the space. And if for some reason I lose that space or I need some of my space back, I have no qualms like doing what I need to do to make it so I have space. But I just have the space, and you just never know which plants are gonna do better than others. Look at that, she looks good. And I'm gonna plant them deeper. Tomatoes are different from other plants in which you don't have to cut, like they will potentially grow roots up it. I'm gonna push it down just a little bit and add a little bit more of this. And like I said, I am going to fertilize this very soon today when I water it in. This root seems extensive, love it. I do have a couple 5-inch pots from, I believe it's from Epic Gardening. So when they get a little bigger, I can go ahead and up pot into that as well. I will probably grab, I want to say about 5 or 6 more of those. And then I have like the cheaper Walmart version that I have, and they're even bigger than the 5-inch. So I'll up pot into that as well. Looks good. These actually look really good to me. They definitely need to be fertilized, but outside of the fertilizing, they're pretty strong. So that's the Castelluto Genovese. I'm labeling everything now, so each pot gets its own label, just so that I know, is it really that serious? No, because when they start growing, I'll figure it out, but it's fine. I don't mind labeling. I prefer to have the things labeled. I got my Amazon pack of these, so I don't have to worry about that. And I got some more garden markers because I've had the garden markers for, I believe, 2 years, and they're getting kind of like wishy-washy looking when you write on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. The next one I have here is another Castelluto Genovese. This one only had one pop up. The Dad Sunset. All of these look good to me, and look at that. So beautiful. And then this last one is the Gessanti tomato. Look at that. And these are all reusable. Like I reused these, so this is their second life. There was grapes in this one. I went and got pliables, and then the other two were just water bottles that I had just cut, and I poked holes in the bottom. And I poked holes in the bottom in the pliable one. So very good stuff. I'll be right back. I'm gonna do all the labels first, and then we'll wrap up the planting. Guys, I can't even find what I did with it, and I can't have that stress in my life. So I just took little sticky notes and wrote them on there. Well, the minute I find it, I'll replace all of these, and that will be fine. So let's do the Dad Sunset. It's very awesome if you really think about it. A 6L tray is a little, like a 6L pack tray thingy is a little bigger than this. And then you would plant, each individual seeds in there, otherwise you wouldn't know how to separate them, versus something like this. If you're growing multiples of one specific plant, because there's a lot of people only grow like 2 to 5 varieties of a tomato, right? Let's say you really could plant even more, because here is 5 of the Dad Sunset. You could plant even more of this, and it would be perfectly fine. But the 5 here, like you see, gave it a decent amount of space to grow. And now I'm just going in gently and scooping with my finger and trying to take out one at a time. Wow, this is actually a pretty good root system. Gonna take this, dig a little hole, and then put some more soil in there. And I push it down a little bit just to, just to help with making sure there's not any like unnecessary air pockets. Don't let it get sunset. And then of course you can reuse this. You could probably reuse this pliable thing a few times before it would start really breaking down for you, if you know what I mean. And this is something, I mean, there was food in this, so as long as you're not gonna heat it, you're probably just fine using this. Use what you're comfortable with using though, you know? I've seen people use like stainless steel stuff to plant in, and I still haven't gotten a hand on the, what's it called? Soil blocking. I have a soil blocker. I might even try to soil block a couple of these tomatoes, like the late ones that I start, because soil blocking is not, you know, as big of a, it's much smaller. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm just going ahead and putting the soil that was in this back in to be reused, because I'm already fertilizing and stuff, so you don't have to worry about per se nutrients, because you know you're gonna put nutrients back into the soil through the fertilizing. I'm very excited about the Dad Sunset because it's like this really beautiful yellow tomato with red in it, and it's a little bit of orange and stuff like that. So, and it's a slicing tomato, like a bigger tomato. Look at these. The root system of these is super healthy. It's a little under a month of growth. This is very healthy. I need to label Dad Sunset. Here we go. So, and I personally don't mind putting out slightly bigger plants. I find I get very good harvests when I do that. What's this? All right, we have one more Dad Sunset, but I don't have a, oh, I do, perfect. I was like, did I count wrong? I didn't. Here's one more. Look at I love it. Okay. When you water it in too, it's gonna make everything settle as well. So that's that. I'm gonna save this because I'm gonna start some more tomato seeds soon. Let's do the Gazanti. It is a little harder, obviously, to get the seedlings out because it's not individualized trays to be able to just squeeze and pop it out. But you guys have been watching me do it. It's possible. Okay, I'm gonna take out 2 at a time. And there's so much soil in these because the actual plastic is pretty dang big. Let's do ones in the front. My pepper starts are definitely smaller than my tomato starts. And so like, that's just something else I see. Like they are, yes, definitely. Tomatoes grow much faster than peppers, which is also why I started them a much later date, you know? There we go. Let's pop out another 2. These 2 grew close together, so we'll see what their root systems look like. Yeah, it's a little smaller just because those two ended up growing closer together, so. Alrighty. They should still grow just fine though. I'm also excited for the Gizanti tomatoes because they're a ribbed tomato to my memory. I think they're the smaller ribbed tomatoes, but don't quote me on the actual size. I'm growing a good amount of ribbed tomatoes. I think they're so beautiful, and I understand how like, oh, but you know, they might harbor bugs and in the ribs or whatever and stuff like that, but I didn't really have that many issues at all actually with the Casaluto Genovese last year, so I'll keep an eye on it. But I just love the look of them, and I love, oops, I ripped some of that, so I don't know if this one's gonna make it. Sorry, girly. I only need 2 or max 3 of these, so I am at potting extra. Okay. And there's one more, and I have exactly one more cup. Perfect. Ooh. And I'm just gonna take the plant tag and put it in one of them. So this is not necessary. And I'm gonna dump this soil back in here, and it will be reused when later today I start some more plants. Bada boom, bada bam. And now we essentially have a full tray, save for, I think I could squeeze maybe 2, 3 more in here of up potted tomato plants. Super exciting. I think in the next week or 2, I'll be able to up pot some of my peppers, but we're definitely, like I said, if not today, tomorrow, I'm gonna start some more seeds of my biggest chunk, like a big chunk, my primary chunk of tomato seeds, and then just a couple more of my sweet peppers. I'm not playing with my peppers. I'm over starting peppers to a slightly obnoxious degree because I am most definitely going to do my best to have the biggest harvest I can possibly manage pertaining to my peppers, while also still getting either as much tomatoes as I got last year or more. Those are the only things I'm trying to work with, you know? So let me show you. So we're working with, don't worry, the plant tags will go in there when I find it. And it's probably somewhere I literally looked at it when I was just searching for it, and it just didn't register. And then don't forget to hit that like button, the subscribe button. Hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.